very much looking at the youth and engaging the youth. So part of the Namibia oil and gas podcast series. So a bonus episode today that we're recording. And with us, I'll let you guys introduce yourself. We've had talks offline about engagement and just the importance of the youth in the industry.
Hi everyone, my name is Gisela Sebastião. I'm Deputy General Manager for KAESO Energy Services, and I also sit as a Vice Chairperson for the Namibian Youth Energy Forum.
Hi everyone, I am Dorianne Zammit Cutajar. I am the Business Manager for Africa and the Med regions, and I am partnered with the Namibia Youth Energy Forum.
Thank you very much, ladies, for joining us today. When we saw today and yesterday as well, youth turnout, what's your thoughts on the conference so far and who's been here?
Well, the turnout was very good. Not enough students participated, maybe because they didn't know that these kind of initiatives bring a lot of insights which can benefit their career paths. So in my statement, even when I was on the panel, I encouraged students to talk about these initiatives and how important it is that they attend. So because they get first contact with stakeholders, operators, and people like us who want to invest in upskilling their career in the oil and gas sector.
And Gisela, from your perspective, having been more involved with the conference and also with the Namibia Youth and Energy Forum?
Well, definitely so. This forum, whereas one of the engagement that I had with you, it's was supposed to be a platform where public and private sector comes together and connect with the youth, where the youth will have come and ask the questions and be curious and participate in the various master classes that they had and the various panel discussion that we had today. So perhaps because of the information did not reach them as the level of magnitude that you expected, I believe the participation was quite low in comparison to the others that have been already involved. But for the one that were here, I trust this Energy Connect was extremely insightful. We've had Total Energy, for instance, that I had a fabulous a presentation that's really break down in the very simplest way the whole value chain, in terms of operations. So on the different panel that was held today as well, we had, for instance, the banking one, where I'm not a banker, but I could understand where to go when we need help and support. So I trust for the future, events, we need to demystify the fact that those events are only for the youth that are already engaged in the sector or want to get in the sector. It's literally for everyone that is curious, everyone that wants to enter the energy sector, or even everyone just curious about it, right? Because bear in mind, the energy sector is so broad that it's not only within the well, right? We have all the services, all these little companies that supports this sector, where you can have the catering, you can have the accommodations, So I invite all of the youth that have entrepreneurial, skills, that have small business, small SMEs to come and engage, not be inhibited because they're not expert. It's fine to be expert. In one of the panel was said, we all started somewhere. So come, engage, ask questions, and linked with us. We are here to really pass on that baton. I always say mentorship, it is not a good thing to have. It's an infrastructure. So we are here as private sectors, as public sector, as investors, for instance, to come in and reaching the hands that come so that we can all walk the path together. So in a nutshell, I would love to have more engagement from the youth, right? And on that side, on their hand, I want to believe that the information didn't reach all of them And also for the one that were aware of it, perhaps they were shy of coming to such a magnificent event. So come mingle with us is the only way you can enter the industry. Thank you.
Dorian, Atlas New Wave, obviously a staffing solutions organization. You can tell us a little bit more about that. But you have a lot of experience working with people from all corners of the world. Bringing that experience to Namibia, what's your message to the youth in that sense of, from that perspective of being professional, coming to the table in that way?
Yes, that's a very good point. Thank you. I've been addressing, even when we rolled out the Green Hand program, how important it is to do research, but also to come along and ask the questions, communicate. What are you curious about? What do you want to know? Because only that will give the answer. So even on the oil rig, communication is key. It's a health and safety basis of awareness, communication, teamwork, talking to stakeholders or operators, which we're lucky enough because they're all around. In these initiatives, I see people that you don't ever have access. When you go to big conferences, you don't get to speak to someone like Laurent of Total or someone like Shell, Eduardo, SBM as well. So they're all here. And students have that opportunity to meet these people and to get inspired, to get their experiences, which, like Laurent was sharing, we all started from somewhere. But what made us reach where we are today? We were passionate, we were curious, we implemented ourselves, and we thrived. That's how we get there. So I do encourage, that there is more participation from the youths, especially because 20 years down the line, they're going to be the leaders here. So, we need them. So come along, participate. Don't be shy, be confident. Everyone does mistakes. You just learn from them. That's what makes you stronger. I always encourage, if someone makes mistakes, that's even better because that's how you're going to learn by mistakes. Because you're going to become a better person.
Kiza, especially as a woman in the oil and gas industry, there's a saying that there's only so many seats at a table. How do you see that? Especially young women who are looking to get into the industry, but might not know where to start. What would be your advice for them? Also coming from a Pan-African kind of point of view.
You don't have a problem with women here. And
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's very true. Here naturally, but really, for the young men and women, let me start with the woman. It's important to know who you are as a person, right? As a woman, what are my values, right? Where are my principles? Where am I coming from? And then acknowledging where do you want to be. So you choose the table that you want to be part of. And if during the path of you acknowledging in where you want to be, those table doesn't exist, then you create yours, right? I'm almost 2 decades in the industry and none of the table that I wanted were created or there was space for me to be in. It's either I created them or I forced it. But by me forcing the interest and the seeds was through knowledge, through hard work, through ethics, and through just get your hand dirty, countless work hours, being very intentional about where do you want to be as a person. Now, for the young man, and this is me bringing now the boy child, right? Because in our culture, it's the man needs to be strong and he needs to stand strong. We don't teach the men how to live life as the fullest. We just expect them to know, right? So I believe we need, as much as the women are vocal about let's empower women, let's make sure that we are all on the same trail and we talk the same language and we empower each other. I believe it's also equally crucial for those tables to be created for the men as well, right? Because I always say home training comes from home. If a person is violent because he has seen violence at home, so we need to go back and break all the shackles, right? So it's not only empowering women, but you also need to empower men, or at least give them the tools for them later on to be our counterpart and empower them. In my career, I didn't have female representation. I did not. All my representation was male, right? But I strongly believe that those male representation, they were able to carry me around because there was a woman behind him that has taught him how to do so. Because there was a man behind him that has taught him how to do so. So I believe it's crucially important to empower women, but it's very vital to ensure that the men that are meant to carry our home are equally empowered.
No, I agree what she's saying, because equally we need to keep in mind empowering women, but also the men, you know, because we're leaving the men and we're empowering the women.
Empowering the youth.
Exactly. So it's a balance. We have to find balance. And the trend nowadays is very much like the men are considering like the woman as their ally, you know. So even the new generation are more like proactive in considering the woman as an ally, not anymore. So I think we're moving in the right direction. But even here is very inspiring to see so many confident women that they take charge, So even for me as a woman, I didn't have that kind of confidence, when I was that young, because here you have 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds, they just go up there very confident and speak. They speak up. They have a voice, which is very nice to see. Even the Namibia Youth Energy Forum, I all the time, like I support them. They have a voice. They are the next generation. They're the new leaders, and the country is doing a lot to give them the voice. I can see even from, the president itself and whoever they're surrounded with, that there is that, acknowledgement and that they're giving the importance.
Going in the right direction, definitely. Any closing message? You yourselves, obviously, having come through the industry, to anybody listening to the pod, the special bonus episode, what is your advice? Gisela, we first go with you.
Looking into a Pan-African perspective, right? I would rather say scale up, right? So we need to scale up, right? For us to have our economical sovereignty, we need to scale up. We need to scale up in terms of education. We need to scale up in terms of infrastructure. We need to scale up in terms of empowering our people, right? And all this comes through collaboration between the public and the private sector and the youth and the women and the community, right? And we need to ensure that the core issue that is withholding our continent back are addressed and are really taken into actions, right? So I don't see us doing it fragmented. I don't see KAESO doing on its own. I don't see Total doing on its own. I don't see you doing on its own. I rather see it doing it collectively, right? Like we all put our different level of expertise, we put it on the table, we have honest conversations, which are difficult to have, right? We need to have honest conversation where we lay down all the challenges and one after the other in the very methodical way, in the very holding everybody accountable, solving them. The recent NMPPF that happened a couple of weeks ago was eye-opener for me, right? I've seen Madam Presidents that have taken bold steps, right? And having seen this as an African gives me hope. Like there is a woman, here goes again, a woman that is taking bold steps to really acknowledge where we are as a country today, where you want to be, and what are the different steps that we need to take in order for us to reach that economical sovereignty. So in a nutshell, it's let's have honest conversations. Let's really put the issues out there, put them on the table, and be unapologetically about it. It is the reality. Let's face it. And let's solve it one after the other. But we need to do it in a very sustainable way, in the very collective way, where we bring our communities, right? When we bring our leaders, when we bring the youth, when we bring international partners, and we all together come with our different level of expertise and make it go together. That's what will work for me.
So Dorianne, to you, if you could meet the young you when you came into the industry, what would you tell her if you were to meet her now on the street? You walk past her and you say, "Oh, here she is." What would you be your advice to her?
Don't worry, you'll get there. Merci. It's a long path, but I must say that being a woman in the oil and gas has its advantages, because you break that stiffness or that in a room, you soften. Like the woman has that soft wit side of herself. So yes, that helped. So if I had to meet myself when I was young, well, commitment, is very important to anything you do in life. It's being reliable, committed, passionate. All those, things will drive you through to get there. It's a long road, but it's full of nice things. You enjoy it because it gives you satisfaction as well, personal and on a bigger scale, on another level. For example, me coming here, my reward is like I'm helping these youths. Hopefully, they don't have it as hard, make it easier for them, and that's why my role here is I will coach you. I will give you all my experience, like whatever I know, help you if I can, and connect with you so you are not alone, and I encourage everyone, even in my team or whoever I come across. Give that extended hand if you can, because you are changing lives, and that's what's important.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, Dorianne. Absolutely amazing chatting to you, as always. Thank you for joining us for this bonus episode of the Namibia Oil and Gas podcast. And I hope you catch the rest of them as they come out. And thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed Energy Connect of Namibian Youth and Energy Forum. And thank you guys for being so involved with it, and also for bringing that knowledge and experience. Because, it's one thing if, we sit all in a room and just chat away, but, how can we open the door for others? How can we open the door for the youth? As you said, Dorianne, making it a little bit easier for somebody else, the struggles, the pushing, all this. And again, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for also having us. It was lovely, like usual.
Thank you so much. It was really nice.